Tonight we are studying chapter 16 of the Bhagavad-gītā. So since you have arrived early, then what we can do is we can start the program by reciting the translations to chapter 16. And then we will have our class. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So chapter 16 is entitled Divine and Demoniac Natures. There are 24 verses in this chapter, so we will just read the translations. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, performance of sacrifice, study of the Vedas, austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault-finding, compassion for all living entities, freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy and from the passion for honor. These are transcendental qualities, O son of Bharat, belonging to godly men endowed with divine nature. Pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, ignorance. These qualities belong to those of demoniac nature, O son of Pritha. The transcendental qualities are conducive to liberation, whereas the demoniac qualities make for bondage. Do not worry, O son of Pandu, for you are born with the divine qualities. O son of Pritha, in this world there are two kinds of beings. One is called the divine and the other demoniac. I have already explained to you at length the divine qualities. Now hear from me of the demoniac. Those who are demoniac do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness nor proper behavior nor truth is found in them. They say that this world is unreal. So Kamlesh, I was thinking of this line on the way. Here is the line that substantiates what you wrote me today in your email. Now you have, because it is the demoniac who say this world is unreal. Wasn't that your point in your email? The material world is real, it's an illusion. So while I was coming here, I remembered this line. So your thinking is correct. They say that this world is unreal, so that's the demon. With no foundation, no God in control. They say it is produced of sex desire, and has no cause other than lust. Following such conclusions, the demoniac, who are lost to themselves and have no intelligence, engage in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world. Taking shelter of insatiable lust and absorbed in the conceit of pride and false prestige, the demoniac, thus illusioned, are always sworn to unclean work, attracted by the impermanent. They believe that to gratify the senses is the prime necessity of human civilization. Thus, until the end of life, their anxiety is immeasurable. Bound by a network of hundreds of thousands of desires and absorbed in lust and anger, they secure money by illegal means for sense gratification. So this is significant. In chapter 2, Krishna said, those who are on this path are resolute in purpose and their aim is one. But notice, the demon is just the opposite. Hundreds and thousands of desires. The demoniac person thinks, so much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future more and more. He is my enemy, and I have killed him. And my other enemies will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man, surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifices. I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance. So these two verses, exemplified by Ravan, Hiranyakashipu, Kamsa, perfectly describes their mentality. Thus, perplexed by various anxieties and bound by a network of illusions, they become too strongly attached to sense enjoyment and fall down into hell. Just recently, the Pope said there's no such thing as hell. Krishna says differently. Bhagavatam says differently. There is hell. And Shukadeva Goswami in 5th canto says there are 28 hells. And he says, and sometimes even on this planet you can find hell. There are certain places right now I don't want to be. Darfur, Sudan. Yes, you don't want to be there. Right. You can find hell. Say, maybe you had, when you were in the hospital that time, remember? It was not pleasant. When I had my kidney stone, I thought I was in hell. I thought the Yamadutas were torturing me. That's how I felt. I called my wife, come. I was crying. Come, save me, I'm dying. My wife had to leave home. For a few hours before they took care of me, I was in hell. So, hell exists. Pope doesn't know what he's talking about. Yeah, but he's preaching there is no. Bhagavatam is very clear. And here Krishna is saying, and he'll say it again, self-complacent and always impudent, deluded by wealth and false prestige, they sometimes proudly perform sacrifices in name only, without following any rules or regulations. Hiranyakashipu did that. Ravan did that. They do it just for show. Bewildered by false ego, strength, pride, lust, and anger, the demons become envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in their own bodies and in the bodies of others, and blaspheme against the real religion. Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, I perpetually cast into the ocean of material existence, into various demoniac species of life. Attaining repeated birth among the species of demoniac life, O son of Kunti, such persons can never approach me. Gradually they sink down to the most abominable type of existence. So now, listen to this next verse. There are 3 gates leading to this hell. Again, Krishna is saying this hell. Krishna says there's hell. Sorry. It may not be all of a sudden politically correct, but Krishna says, I don't care for your political correctness. There is hell. 3 gates: lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give these up, for they lead to the degradation of the soul. The man who has escaped these 3 gates of hell, O son of Kunti, perform acts conducive to self-realization, and thus gradually attains the supreme destination. He who discards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection, nor happiness, nor the supreme destination. One should therefore understand what is duty and what is not duty by the regulations of the scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulations, one should act so that he may be gradually elevated. So now we will begin today's proper class, beginning of chapter 16. Everybody chant.